Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Anchorhaven, and this is the Mystical Wellness Channel. And I'm joined today with one of my favorite returning guests, who is Michael Kopf, who is an experiencer, podcast host, the energy that surrounds us and riding through the unknown. He is a metaphysical practitioner, and like me, gets into mystical wellness as well. So welcome, Michael Kopf. How are you, Paranormal Mike?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm okay, thanks. I'm okay. I'm just going to check that we're live streaming, and then hopefully everyone will start falling in. We get a little Anchorhaven crew going in the chat so we can take some live questions. We might even do some partnered readings today. We might give it a go, try it out, and see how that works. So today is the 10th of June, 2026. I'm here in the UK, and I went to watch Disclosure Day. I'm not allowed to release any spoilers. But luckily, a close friend of mine wanted to know. So I got to spill the beans before I came on air. So, phew, that was good. But I can talk about my experience of what I had going there. So I'm going to, I'm kind of a little bit, but I'm not going to spoil the movie in any way. So, hey, Heather in the chat, good
Uh,
morning. Good evening. I'm so used to doing morning shows now. Good evening. Good evening. So today I went to see it. The weird thing was, right, because it comes out 2 days earlier in Europe and Australia than it does in America and Canada. So we're getting Disclosure before you guys, which is very odd. I do think everybody should see it, whether you think it's good, bad, right, or wrong. Everybody should see that movie just because, right? That's all I'm going to say. Um,
yeah.
and then, so even when I was like getting up my Uber app, what's that? It's like,
It-
is that your deck?
yeah, it's
Oh,
the
that's
box that
so
it
cool.
comes in.
Wow, that's so cool. Yeah, so Mike and I are going to do some cards together. We've not done that together before. So I've got my
I'm gonna
Uber app
try.
open. Okay.
It's been a while since I've done it, so I'm gonna try.
Well, we can interpret each other's cards as well. So that'll be fine. Yeah. So my phone showed my Uber app already had the location for the cinema ready. So it'd been listening to me, right? So which is freaky. So I opened the app and there it showed the View Cinema. It's called My View, right? So there it was. So go to the View, and then the taxi was round the block, so it came immediately. Then I get in the taxi, and it was taxi man Tony, and he's got his thing on there saying Tony, and he's full of Haribo, and it's like snacks
Taxi
in the
man
back of the
Tony.
car, right? So I'm like, oh Tony, I'm so glad it's you because it's like free Haribo, and like how does it get any better than that? And then the taxi driver made the mistake of saying, so what are you doing today, love? And I'm like, oh, I'm going to see this movie. And he's like, well, what do you mean by Disclosure? And I literally said to him, well, you're in for a right treat because Disclosure just happens to be my business. Bam. And I just let it all out. And I thought, why not? If I can't let it out today of all days, then I'll let it out. So
Yeah,
I literally I didn't go too much into Super Soldier, but I literally went into the energy that surrounds us and that kind of thing. And then
yeah.
I went to the cinema and it's 10:30 a.m. and I didn't leave until 20 past 1 in the afternoon. Right? That's how long the movie is.
Oh my
It's
God.
long. So we have like 20, 30 minutes of like trailers, we call them previews. But I don't remember any of them. I honestly could not tell you, except there was quite a few adverts for the Royal Navy. That's all I remember. I don't remember any movie previews at all. So I don't know what they were
Gotta plug the
advertising.
Royal Navy.
Yeah, it was all like, Adventure Stars in the Royal Navy. It was like that. So, but I don't know what trailers they showed before the movie. It's not in my awareness. And then I did have a good experience in the movie, but there was a lady sitting 2 seats away from me who was laughing at things that I wasn't laughing at, and she was like gasping at things that I wasn't gasping at. So I'm like thinking, me and this lady are in completely different cinemas right now, completely different densities right now. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I
So I
think it's
did,
different levels of disclosure is what
yeah,
that is.
yeah, for sure. So, but there is an artifact in the movie. That's all I will say. I know this artifact, and a friend of mine also knows the artifact. Mm. And the artifact is in other TV shows as well, which
Yeah, I
lets
think I
me
know what
know.
it is.
Do you? Which lets me know it's a real artifact. Question: does the movie have a happy ending?
Uh,
It doesn't have a bad ending, but not
does
necessarily
it
happy. But it's just like everyone's in shock. It's that kind of
does it
ending.
have an ending though? Because
Not really. No, it doesn't really have
yeah,
an ending. Yeah,
I'm like, we're in disclosure right now, so it really couldn't have an ending.
it doesn't
Because
really have an ending. It's one of those, someone's about to say something, you're on the edge of your seat, and the movie ends. It's like that. Yeah, so I promised Jason I wouldn't do spoilers, and I really value Jason's opinion, and he's a good pal of mine. So we can't really talk about it and get into it until Monday, right? When everyone's had a chance to go and see it over the weekend. So,
Well,
but yeah.
I went and watched Masters of the Universe.
Oh, tell me, how was it? Was it good?
I actually have to say, from the previews, I thought it was going to be really campy and corny, and I was like, really? This is what you're going to do to bring it back? But I actually left the movie theater like really surprised, and they did a great job of hinting towards what the next movie is going to be, and it's not going to be the movie that they think it's going to be, but because they allude at the end to, like, oh, here's the next movie. And then they start the credits, and then it goes to a scene, and it's like, oh, here's the real movie that's coming up next. And one of the characters that everybody knows and loves from the cartoons doesn't make an appearance until the after credits. And so it's like, oh, so he is going to be there, but not he's not in the movie. And so it was kind of interesting, but the way they unfolded it though was in a way that you could kind of actually understand it. It kind of made a little bit of sense. It didn't follow the canon totally, but it was enough that, yeah, I actually had a few moments where I was like, wow, this seems really familiar. This seems really, it's like, whoa, I was not expecting that.
Is She-Ra in the movie? Because I was super into She-Ra when I was growing up.
Do you want a spoiler alert?
Yeah, I do.
She's the next movie.
Oh, good, good. She-Ra, yeah, that's so cool.
Because and
So
how I
I'll
know
probably,
it
yeah,
is
yeah,
this guy walks up to her and she's holding the sword of power, and it's like still like kind of glitzing a little bit with the magic,
yeah.
and he goes, Captain of the Guards, we had to do this, and she goes, I'm not the captain of the guards anymore. And it's like, oh.
Whoa, that's
And the
good.
queen is saying to Duncan, Man at Arms, and you'll have to see the movie why this happens, but she says to him, I feel it's time for her to come home. Do we need to? I think we need to tell him about her. And he
Ooh.
goes, and they're alluding to they know where she is.
Wow, that's exciting, I think. So
Yeah.
part of my presentation on Saturday, I do touch on Thundercats as well, because that was my very first kind of introduction to Black Pyramids, which is a big activator for me, and introduction into the Lyran Wars and that kind of thing. That's so cool. So like, what do you think about Thundercats? There's rumors about a movie coming back. Do you think that's just not true? Is there a movie
I
for
think
Thundercats?
I think it's rumor right now because I've seen several
Yeah,
AI renditions of it, but some are actually better than others. But Thundercats is a huge disclosure because if you pay attention and you know what you're listening to, like they say, oh, Thundercats crash land on Third Earth. This is Third Earth. We're on
yeah,
it right now. So they're here. And a pyramid found in the desert with the obelisks around it. I'm like, you can
mm,
find that here.
yeah.
It actually exists here.
Yeah, but because that came out in 1985 and I was 10 then. So that was like my first kind of wake up, kind of like, come on, remember who you are, see the Black Pyramid, see the felines.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't until kind of last year that I got another reminder, because I had the 1994 Stargate movie came out, pyramid ships in that as well. So there's like every 10 years or so, I've been getting these pyramid reminders. And then last year, I literally got sucked back into a black pyramid ship across the river here. And I had like full activation. So, and then I was like, okay, I can go to Alaska, I can go to Antarctica, I can go wherever because I can connect into black pyramid ships. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
and I'm upset with Amazon right now.
because of the Stargate or what?
Yeah, they
Oh,
announced doing the new Stargate show, got everybody all excited, and then they claimed there wasn't enough following to support bringing the show back, so they canceled it. And I
what?
was
Not
like,
enough following. This is like when
yeah,
they cancelled Buffy recently, didn't they? They cancelled the Buffy reboot. Did you hear about that?
no.
Oh my god, they were all geared up to do another Buffy, and then next thing it had been pulled because some studio executive had never even watched Buffy, and he just didn't like the sound of it. So it was like a massive uproar. Like Buffy is iconic. Like oh my god, yeah. So
So somebody though, what's interesting is they took and they started doing like AI videos for Stargate and said, "Hey, Amazon dropped on this. Somebody here, and here's my professional, title and everything. We need another studio to pick this up. We really need this." And so there's like, he's going and it's like his personal mission to get the reboot series. Well, then not a reboot series, but the new series back off the ground and back into production.
because I like all of the Stargate series. Like one of the what was that latest one? Was it Stargate Universe? When they're
Yeah.
on a big ship and they go, is that the right one? The one with the
Yep.
Scottish actor. Like, how good was that show? Like, it was so
Well,
good. Yeah.
actually, I think the Scottish actor was on Atlantis.
No, no, that was a different Scottish actor. Hold on, let me get my IMDb. That was the guy who was the dark-haired doctor. Yeah, so I'm talking about the one in. He's very famous.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
The head. He turns out to be the head scientist on the ship.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So really, he's a Scottish actor. He might not have been Scottish in the show, but he's a Scottish actor. Yeah. So I really love all of the SG series. I really do. Even at Stargate Atlantis, which is so good, and Jason Momoa had a role in that after the first season, and he was
Yeah.
good. As Ronan Dex. Yeah.
Do you
So
recognize that?
no, because I can't really see it. What is it?
SG-1.
Oh, that's so awesome. So, do you have any memories, or have you ever been near Cheyenne Mountain?
I have not been near Cheyenne Mountain, but when I saw the first Stargate series, SG-1, and they start pulling up, and approaching a mountain base, I go, that's NORAD, Cheyenne Mountain. It's like I knew what it was before I even saw it, and
Yeah.
I was like, oh, and so
Mm.
it's like I must have been there because it's like I recognize it, and I've never done a Google search for NORAD to go, where's NORAD? Because why would I?
Yeah, exactly. So I've got a memory of being there, but in like a control room. And Matt Tracy is standing behind me. Do you know Matt Tracy? Do you know Matt?
Uh,
Have you ever done any
I
videos with Matt Tracy? He's SSP.
I'd have to look and see because at one point
Yeah.
I was adding people, but then I kind of
I'm hoping to
focused
get him
on.
on in July, but he works away, so he only comes home like once every 2 months or something. And but he was standing behind me, and I knew he was George. And then I saw a video of Penny Bradley and him, and he starts talking, and then he says, "Oh, and I've got this altar called George," and I was like, "I knew it! I knew that was you, right?" So I did reach out to him. We're not good pals or anything, but I'm hoping to get him on the show. So I had a memory of just being in a control room, which is so similar to what they show on the Stargate SG-1 series.
Oh
And then,
yeah.
Sean Bond and I did a Vision Quest last year, like early last year. And then I was like, it's like, I want to find a Stargate. And literally, like, I found myself in the gate room, but there was no gate. but there was alarms going off, and he's saying it's okay, it's just a memory, and I'm like, no, there's alarms going off. No, the gate was there, and this one there wasn't, and the alarms are going off, and he's saying it's a memory, and I'm saying this isn't a memory. I've biolocated into the gate room. And then he's going, go back to a time when you remember actually being in a memory there. So then I went back to the 1940s, but there was no gate. There was no Stargate in that room. It hadn't been brought in yet. And then I read John Whitberg's book that said the Stargate arrived in the 1950s. But I was already there in the 1940s. Another version of me was there. So that was so mad. So it's something about He-Man in the chat now.
I do know, when it comes to the gate, to me, the one thing that never actually made sense was they were going through with weapons, because I was like, yeah, weapons didn't go through the gate. It's like I have memories of like you couldn't take a rifle or a gun or a pistol through the gate, but other things you could, but not those kind of weapons. And so it was like when I watched that, I was like, that's not right. But then I was like, ah, well, if it fits for this part, so we'll let it go. But the Zat weapon, it's recognized it, like what it does and how it operated, but the way it looks, I was like, that was a little different, that it was a Z-shaped weapon versus, like the staff weapon. I was like, yeah, I don't really get the staff weapon, but I do know that there were weapons like those, but I guess that's as close as they can make it work.
So I'm just responding to something in the chat, and Iron Bear, who's John, is saying, like, have I ever seen Drago as a young Billy Bob Thornton in my recalls? And no, I have not. I only see Drago as Drago or as Yoshiro Surabaya. So, but I also see people's energetic signature in my kind of recall. So it could be they look different, and I don't remember. But I always see him as those two versions, because we're basically very similar energetic signatures. And but it looks like Iron Bear has seen Drago as a young Billy Bob kind of look to him. It just makes me laugh, sorry. But yeah,
I can see it though.
Yeah, many different so there's different versions of me, male, female, tall, small, many different versions of me. People that remember me having my hair a certain way, and that's one of the tests that I have as well. Yeah.
The pigtails.
No, that's not it. That's not the one.
No, but
yeah.
I remember.
So don't give it away. Don't give it away. There's another hairstyle that I'm particularly looking for. People remember me from certain things.
But no. This
don't
is
give it away.
Else.
Yeah, don't give it away.
Something else, but watching it, it's like it was funny because I'm watching you and I'm like, okay, what is she doing with her hair? And then it's like I blink.
Gina's tech show.
And I'm like,
cutting my hair.
And we're like talking, and all of a sudden I'm like, your hands aren't by your hair anymore, and you got two pigtails. I was like,
yeah.
Where the hell did those come from?
Well, we were doing a behind the scenes show, so I actually don't have my hair down when I'm at home at all. I always have my hair tied back in some way. But when it's really hot at the moment, I've been having it in two plaits. Just so I was just sitting there, and I just started doing it, and I looked at myself and thought, oh shit.
But what was funny to me is like I saw you going like gathering the hair. And then it's like the next thing I know is they're both done. I'm like, how in the world did you do that so fast?
I'm old, so obviously I can plait my hair very quickly because I'm very old now. But yeah, I think it was Sheila was in the chat saying, "Oh, look at it, it's so nice to see you do braiding your hair." Like, but it was very hot that day, and I just got back from an event or something, and I was so I hate having my hair down. It really irritates me. So that's why you always see me kind of moving it away from the back of my neck. It irritates me a lot. So, but in the programs, depending on what faction I'm in, I have my hair in different styles, and that's how I know if you know me from like Nachtwaffen or Kruger or Solar Warden, based on hairstyles. Right? Interesting. Yeah. So I've got little tests in place. So John Whitberg knows me from a breakaway colony where I was a corporate spy, and he knows me with a certain hairstyle, and it's true. Yeah.
I had a tail, and I try to do it
You
now,
had a
and I
tail.
yeah
Oh,
I
like
could.
Newskin has dreadlocks because he used to grow out his dreadlocks, and then when he had shore leave or whatever, he'd cut his hair, trade in the dreadlocks for currency, and he'd just go and have a field day, right? And that's what Newskin says on his videos. So if you had a
Yeah.
tail, that's probably you getting ready to cut it to use it as currency. Mm,
Well, and the funny thing about it was I could never grow the side of my hair
mm,
to do it. It was all the back of the hair, and I would, like you're saying, I'd have to lift it
mm.
up because it's too much on the back of the neck. It's like,
Yeah.
uh-uh.
So yeah, James in the chat, Wizardwick has put about my pink mohawk. So there is a version of me that's out there with pink mohawk in a white suit, and this is the version of me that Ivan Tell has seen. And he literally created a mini movie series based on my altered jet. He calls her Space Rock Girl or something. But it's based on me. He said it. He's confirmed it. Yeah. So shout out to Ivan Teller, who's in hospital right now. We love you. Take care.
Yeah, I hope you get to feeling better.
Oh, he's got cancer. He's got
Yeah.
tumors, and he's had brain surgery on Monday. So it's like, fuck, do you know what I mean? But yeah, he's been putting regular posts, regular updates out on his channel, which is great. So we know that he's doing okay. Hopefully, he'll be home in the next few days. Yeah, so I've done quite a few videos with him on my channel, so personal mentor videos, and then we've got one podcast that we've done together. So he does have a playlist. Yeah, reminds of Tank Girl. Yeah, so he kind of tried. I said to him when I first saw the mini movies with Jet, and I said, "Is this me, Ivan? Because I'm getting deja vu. Like, is this me?" And he's like, "Maybe, maybe not. Maybe Tank Girl." Maybe yeah. So when he was on Typical Skeptic, like last month or whenever, I put the question in, is it true that it's based on my altered jet? And he just went, yes, like live on TV. Like, so yeah. Nathan Fox is saying that he wore his hair, long hair, tied back as a Nachtwaffen prison ship guard altar. Ooh, so he still had long hair because he got long hair now as well. Yeah. But if anybody remembers me with a pink mohawk, please let me know. Yeah, let me know. Because
Yeah.
that's
And
it's still a bratty version of me going around causing havoc in the universe. I'm just like a cosmic kid. That's all I am.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I have colored my hair too. So
Well, like in the here and now or in space?
here and now and in space.
What colors have you had it here?
Here I have done purple, gold, red, let me think, um, pink, because I did a pink and blue for the 80s. Never doing that again because that nearly destroyed my hair.
Hmm.
But yeah,
I've had my
and
hair all
I
colors. You can
did
watch the TV show Orphan Black to see all the different styles of hair I've had. It's literally documented. Yeah.
black, I've done gold and red at the same time to try and make my hair look like it's on fire.
Yeah. Okay, that's neat. I've had it green, blue, purple, like a deep burgundy is actually one of my favorites. I have had it different shades of pink, but more I've had a lot of different shades of yellow, trying to go through blonde phases. So Wizard Wickers used to have a blue beard and a purple beard. So
Yeah.
yeah, but Orphan Black TV show, you can literally look at all of those clones, and each one is a different version of me. Even with the dreadlocks, I had my dreadlocks at 17, so it's like
I
um,
started graying at 28, fun fact. And so I started coloring just for fun.
yeah,
And I said to my stylist, I was like, hey, maybe I
my
can do
stylist.
ice hey, if
All right,
you've gone to somebody for 20 plus years, they're a stylist.
okay, okay.
But
I don't have a stylist. I don't even brush my hair. So there you go.
well,
Yeah.
now that it's short, I don't brush my hair much either. But when it was long, I was like, yeah, I had to. But I went to and I said, "Can I do like icy silver hair?" And he looked at me and he goes, "Why? Why would you pay for that? Give your hair a couple of years and you're gonna have it anyway." And I was
That's
like,
true.
"Yeah, good point."
That's true. Yeah, I'm getting grey hairs now. But I shine a very
Now,
bright light on my face. What do you mean?
I've had it since I was 28, miss.
Oh, I
I'm
haven't. One
older.
of my sisters has though, because my dad went grey in like silver in his like 20s. So one of my sisters went grey in her 20s. So her hair is pure white, and she dyes it. And she's like in her 50s now. She dyes it. But I would love if mine went white. I would love it right now. Just rocking that unicorn. Love it. Yeah.
I'm loving the fact I have the gray hair, and you're like, I want it. I'm like, I got it. I've had it since I was 28.
Yeah, no, so mine are just different variations of blonde. So I don't dye it anymore. Yeah, just let it be. So when I'm in the
Yeah.
UK, it gets lighter and lighter, but when I'm in India, it just was like the same color. Their ozone is very different. So there you don't get the same
Well,
kind of sun out there.
and the thing that people don't realize is when you color your hair, it
Mm.
has to be a certain length. So I literally, if I'm gonna color my hair, I have to start like a year or two in advance to grow out enough hair to actually
Wow.
color it. Because I keep my hair normally short, so I don't have, so I can get up and just go and do what I need to do.
Yeah.
And so I'm like,
What do you
oh, to
look like
get,
with long hair? Sorry.
oh yeah, I, oh, I
I
should
might need
grow
a
my,
photo now. I might need a photo.
I'll have to see if I can find one, but I don't know that I have a photo of the tail, but I can grow it back out. And
Yeah.
I wonder what people would say if I colored just the tail.
Maybe. Oh, Danny started going grey at 13, and she's saying that she's jealous. Yeah, so Tank Girl is like another version. We call her Jet. But you can have a look at Jet if you go on Ivan Teller's channel. He's got loads of Rockstar Girl, which is based on me. It's quite funny. Okay, so what time is it? What are we talking about? 26 minutes. So I do have another show today. I've got Jerry and Leo coming on, and Leo is like off camera, in disguise, hidden away, esoteric. So I'm not too sure what that show is going to be about, but it's going to be very, very interesting. So yeah, but I thought we could talk about kind of abduction experiences, because today when I was in the Disclosure Day movie, I had an abduction experience come into my mind.
Oh, I was gonna say you had the experience in the movie theater.
Yeah,
They abducted you from the movie theater.
possibly, but I had a memory come up from when I was maybe 6 years old, maybe a bit older, and it does link back into an experience I already knew. But it was like, so I remember being on a ship. So I've talked about being in the ET classroom before, right? And there's like this Chinese kid next to me. But at this time, I was actually remembered being laying down, and the boy is next to me, right? And it's like, and there's a scene in the movie which is very much like my memory. So I'm looking at it like, is this me like on the screen? Is this me and Brian saying, oh my God, what the hell? So me and Brian were on a Zeta Gray ship together when we were children, right? So this one of the first things that came into my mind when I met him in 2024. I instantly knew he was the boy. He was the boy from the ship, and of course he doesn't remember because he's got zero memories. But I messaged him today, and I was like, dude, you've got to go and see this movie, because I need to know if you remember this or not, because this is my experience that we were laying down like on separate beds kind of thing together. And so, but this must have been before we were in the classroom, obviously, which was just the most normal thing in the world, was that we were in an ET classroom. But the feeling wasn't scary. It wasn't, I mean, it was trepidation. And I had little tears running down my face as I was watching the movie, thinking about this. But it was like my mind just went, Brian. And I knew it was about me and Brian from when we were small. And it was so bizarre to kind of to get that. I'm getting pain on my head as to talk about it, so I'm not meant to be talking about it. But Yeah, it brought something forward watching the movie. So I do believe everyone's going to get their own experience when you watch the movie. Like that woman 2 seats away was in a completely different experience to me. But for me, it actually did give me a couple of memories come forward. And so I thought that was interesting because, like, the experience that I've had with Brian with the Zeta Greys, that's nothing to do with SSP. That is nothing at all to do with Drago or anything like that. That's just a very isolated, separate version, like a star family experience. So yeah, that's a starseed experience. Do you know what I mean? Which has nothing to do with the SSP. So really bizarre, really interesting. But also, Brian and I are meant to be in a team together, just like Drago and I are on the same team, the Merge, which I know it's not called the Merge, but really. But Brian's also meant to be on that team with us in the SSP. So, but he again doesn't have any memories. I'm gonna have to start talking about this now because I'm getting a lot of interference coming in. It's making like pressures coming down on my head. So anyway, so yeah, do you have any ET abduction memories yourself?
I would have to say abduction, no. But I do have memories of going on ET ships and going to different worlds or doing different activities like going and trying to prevent a war. And when that failed, helping the side I was with win the war as quickly as I could to limit life loss to them. And I've done peace treaty work. I have created worlds, but yeah, I don't really have a lot of memory of ever like being forced out of body to do things. It's like I just naturally did it. So I don't know, you know. I might have been a different type of case because this is gonna sound strange, but one person that I was talking with about this said I volunteered for the program. I wasn't forced into the program like other people, and so I feel like I wonder if that altered because of being volunteered instead of forced if my conditioning was different.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to say I didn't volunteer, but I probably did. I don't know. I know I'm only in this reality because my brother came to this reality and I wanted to make sure he was okay. So I don't know. But
Yeah.
now, if somebody
But
said to you now that you like you could have like the perfect body, you could have abundance, you could have whatever, if you like actively enroll, would you say yes?
you know, honestly, I would have to say it would depend on who's asking.
Say it was Night Waffin.
No.
See, I would, because Night Waffin has rules, and I like rules, and it has honor
Yeah,
at
but
times as well, and I
Night
like that.
Walkman does some nasty, dirty deeds, and I
They
don't want
all
to be
do. They all do. Yeah. So I've been working on keywords for things. And when you think of, let me just find it,
I
keywords for
mean,
Nachtwaffen, I've
that's
got,
why I say it depends because if it's like a beneficial group that's trying, to help people, yeah, I would volunteer for that
yeah,
because, I'm at choice and I'm doing something I can stand behind. But when it
yeah.
comes to the nefarious groups, it's like,
They're all
that's not who I
nefarious.
am.
They all
So,
are. It's just the way things are. So I've got keywords for Nachtwaffen. I've got honor, expansion, and dominance. That's what I've
yeah.
got for their energies right now.
Oh,
But
yeah.
okay, but if you have a look at say Solar Warden, I'll tell you what I've been working on. Solar Warden, their keywords: vigilance,
Protection.
authority, and surveillance. Vigilance, yes, authority, surveillance. So I think
Oh,
Solar Warden is much, much worse than Nightwaffen, right? And that might be an unpopular opinion, but they
well,
literally are not good, right? So I know a lot of people
it,
think they're good, but they're not.
Well, it depends on which branch because like Solar Warden, the part I'm on is protecting the gates and
Yeah,
preventing, nefarious groups from coming in to do harm. So that's, a really cool thing. But
yeah.
it's almost like, it's like you're saying, we sometimes have to go through doing the bad to get to the good parts that we want to do. And it's like, yeah. But that's why I was kind of surprised, like protection or guardian wasn't a key word for Solar Warden because that's their main mission statement is protecting the space above.
Yeah, so Nathan's on the same kind of, oh no, it's Wizardbrickus is on the same thing as me. That's funny, I thought it was gonna be Nathan then. Solar Warden hunts down the breakaway Germans and the Japanese. It's true, that's literally what it says
Yeah,
in my breakaway. It's hunting people down, yeah. So they might be pretending that they're going out there making sure everyone's got all the supplies they need, but really that's not what they're doing. Yeah. So not good. Anyway, what did Nathan say? Per Penny Bradley's testimony, in actual often is why the Draco Empire banned eating humans. They proved our value as fellow hunters rather than food. Yeah,
yep,
there you go. Yeah. I embarrassed saying, got reminded about that a few nights ago. The contract work we do may not be all good, but it's who we are, whether we like it or not. That's true. That's true. Yeah,
yeah.
I know. Okay. So, have you got anything coming up that you want to talk about today?
Well, I will be doing your job on Saturday.
Dude, I'm literally doing a 35-minute presentation with a 10-minute Q&A, which it's not going to make any sense to anybody in 35 minutes. So I apologize in advance, guys. It's a very fast introduction into who Anchorhaven is. But if you want to know more about me, you can go watch the other video I did with Gina like a few days earlier, and then the bits that I've been doing on Basis TV right now. So go check them out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
But
so you're moderating
so
in the chat. Are you going to be there all day, 9 till 6?
I am.
Okay. Yeah, you do need to have
um,
food around you at all times because otherwise it's just, yeah. So I think I actually ordered Chinese food halfway through
Food
because
and
it's late for
drinks.
me. Yeah.
Chinese food.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's late. So, if it goes on till 6 o'clock Eastern, that's 11 o'clock at night for me.
Yeah.
Right. So that's long. But she did finish a little bit early last time, didn't she? So that was good. I think we finished at like 5:30.
Yeah.
Um,
And I probably will myself. I'll probably order pizza or something I can eat and nibble on all day at my desk.
Yeah, so you know more about StreamYard. So, because Gina, when she did it last time, she opened up the vertical view and the landscape view. But the problem is when you're in vertical, trolls just hit you big time, right? So this is
Oh
why on
yeah.
my morning lives, I put the moderation in. You've got to be a subscriber for at least 5 minutes before you can access the chat. So, is it possible to do that on StreamYard? Can you put those limitations in or not?
I'd have to look, but
Because if
I
she opens
know
up two different streams, we need to moderate over two different streams, which is why last time I was saying, God, I need missing time in here. I can't moderate two streams by myself. So then Jason stepped
actually
in.
the streams are all in one place.
They're not. It's two separate YouTubes that open.
Right. Well, there's two separate YouTubes, but the comments go into one room.
Yeah, but we moderate on YouTube. We don't moderate on
Oh.
StreamYard. We moderate on
Oh, see,
YouTube.
I moderate through StreamYard.
Yeah, we don't do that. We're literally on YouTube. Yeah. And
Oh,
I
that'll be
prefer that.
different.
I prefer
I
that.
got access to doing it on StreamYard.
Well, I know she gave me admin access or team access on there, but if I'm yeah, I'd rather be on YouTube. Yeah, because it's comfortable. I can be on my laptop. Um,
Well, then we can look at it this way as YouTube being on the YouTube channels.
yeah,
Whatever gets past you, I'll be right there to
yeah. Okay, that's
grab it and
cool.
be like,
Yeah.
you're out in StreamYard world.
I mean, I might be able to open the StreamYard, but then I just feel uncomfortable being on StreamYard all the time. I'd rather be in the YouTube and until I needed to present, and then I'll open my StreamYard. The StreamYard messes with me big time. It's like it's whereas we use Zoom and it's quite secure. I don't have the same lag. I don't, whatever. StreamYard, I
Yeah,
get a lag every 15 minutes. It's like it just hits my router every 15 minutes. And
but
initially
yeah,
I thought it was a problem with my internet. So I upgraded to the highest possible internet, which cost me a lot of money. And it's not my internet, it's just StreamYard being crap.
yeah, and I'm looking at my phone because I was talking with Gina about something around the chat room, and I'm trying to find where I just talked to her this morning. How is her? Uh, I always gotta go find stuff. Okay.
Yep. So we're talking about the Summer Days
Yeah.
conference with Gina Virginia Casella. That's this Saturday, and it's a full day event, guys. You can go to buymeacoffee.com/Gina Virginia Casella/extras to get tickets if you can afford to support the event. If you can't afford to get a ticket, don't worry because you might still be able to get some live stream access on
Yeah.
YouTube or get the replays afterwards. So yeah, but if you can get a ticket, please do. It's all day. So I'm doing a talk, Missy Hill, Soma Arar, Slavka, Sheila Murray are all doing
Laura.
talks. Yeah, Laura's doing a sound experience, I think, or singing experience. What's she actually doing? Is it singing? Mm.
I think she's also doing a presentation. I'm not sure,
Is
but
she? She's
I
doing
asked
both. Yeah.
Gina, I go, what's your rule for the chat room about banning inappropriate or rude comments or just delete the comment? And she goes, delete.
So
I'd
we
ban if racial type comments or
we
if they
just
don't
time out.
stop.
We just time out the
Yep.
person for a set amount of time, and it removes all the comments when you time them out. Yeah. That's all. So Jason is like top mod. So whatever Jason does, that's what I do. So yeah, so you just time that person out for like, 30 minutes or a day,
Yeah.
however it is. Yeah, so I generally give people a warning. Like we had somebody on Typical Skeptic earlier, and I said, dude, you're very welcome. But if you're just constantly going to be challenging and disrupting, you're going to lose access to the chat, pal. So you just give people a warning.
Y'all
Um,
are nicer than me. I'm like, you come
no,
in and
only
you make
because
some comment. I'm like, nope, you're out.
no,
Permanent.
we've got to try and be as neutral as you can because you don't want to censor. We're not here to censor as moderators. We're here to, let people say what they want to say, and then only if it's like abusive or it's like really negative, then yeah, then we'll take it out. If it's not supportive or relevant to the conversation, yeah, we'll take it out. Other than that, you're just there to gently guide. But
Jelly
Rob
guy.
said to me things in the past, no, don't do anything. We're friends here. And I'm like, shit. Like certain people that I would love to just time out for like the rest of the
Oh
year.
yeah.
No, I can't. So we're riders in the chat saying that hit the lotto in another timeline. Got to alter out to receive the funds. You know what? If I could get paid for working in the astral, I would love that right now.
Oh
Yeah, so
yeah.
go to work, right? So just lie down and get to meditation, get paid.
I'll be
That'll be
like,
so good.
or better yet, go give me 5 minutes and I'll get you 20 years worth of
Yeah.
experience that I'll get paid for. So just give me 5 minutes and you can pay me for 20 years worth of work.
Yeah, yeah. So in James Rink's book Lone Wolf, which I've got here next to me, because I've been researching something at the moment, it says in there that when disclosure is released, Kruger are apparently going to release our files, right? So how close are we getting to Kruger releasing our military files? Um, I don't know. What do you guys think? Are we going to
I
get
don't
our
think they're gonna
files?
release. I don't think so because there's too much they would have to answer for, and they're not, you know, the only way that they would ever disclose the files is if they disclosed all the programs. So I would say, our personnel files are probably going to remain hidden for the longest time because I honestly see the secret space program and all those affiliate programs like MK Ultra, everything.
Yeah.
will be the last things that are truly declassified and said, okay, here's, what we have on this and the
Mm.
tell all globally, because that's the key. It has to be global because our altars are with different countries due to different programs. And so,
This is what I talk about in my presentation this Saturday. It's the Global Monarch Program. So I've been doing quite a bit of looking into this in the last 6 months, realizing that I was traveling around. I wasn't choosing where to go. I was getting reassigned and thinking, oh, that sounds like a great idea. But really, it was just a reassignment. And wherever I went, things were happening. And Wizard Wicker says we could get paid for all the SSP work we've done. It would probably be worth billions of dollars. Yes, it
oh,
would.
yeah. I mean, when you
Yeah.
consider we have the capacity of doing an entire lifetime in a minute and a mere minutes, imagine getting not even, paychecks for the work that we did in those timelines,
Mm.
but imagine the pensions that we would get.
Yeah, we should. I mean, we're in the aftercare program, which I talk about on Saturday, but that really should be a pension attached to that, surely. Yeah,
Yeah,
you know. Oh
like,
dear, it would change
and
everything.
that's
Yeah.
something I talked with like Tony Rodriguez about. We kind of joke about is when we talk about, the SSP and everything, being infiltrated by,
Mm,
people who aren't really in it. I always will look at him and he agrees with me. I'm like, I don't understand why you would want to infiltrate the
exactly.
SSP. There's no pension, there's no glory, there's no acknowledgement whatsoever,
Yeah.
except a life of torture and
Yeah.
pain. And I get, faking being a lawyer or a doctor or a soldier,
Yeah.
sadly, because there's perks, but there are no perks to being in
Yeah.
the
So
SSP.
I there's a basis interview that came out earlier today that I did with Miles a few days back, and I say in it, my memories are unremarkable. They are. They're not remarkable at all. They're nothing to write home about. Walking down a corridor, like opening lift doors. There's nothing there that's interesting. Like, so why?
Yeah.
They're like, if it, in your day-to-day life, do you really remember every bus ride you've taken? Do you remember every report you've written? You don't remember these things. So, like, the memories that come
Yeah.
forward, they're unremarkable memories. There's like, it's a mundane life. Doesn't matter if it was on or off planet. It was mundane.
And
I've got lab memories where I'm just holding something, and I'm excited about it. That severed arm. I'm excited about it, but it's like, oh, okay, it's just a this is my life kind of memory. So there's nothing good about it. I wouldn't choose to be traumatized and mind fractured, and I wouldn't choose that. So why would you want to say that you're in it if you're not? It doesn't make any sense to
yeah.
me. But for me, it's the
Yeah,
only thing
but
that actually filled in the gaps. That's the only reason why I would have these random memories of being in space or being in a tunnel, or do you know what I mean? Yeah.
could you imagine having eidetic memory and being in the SSP?
Well, that's John
How
Whitberg.
horrible that life would be
That's
of
John
knowing
Whitberg. Yeah, John
every
Whitberg has an eidetic
single,
memory.
yeah,
I believe he has an eidetic memory because he's not even shared, not even 10% of what he remembers. He's got so much more. And we've been working with the Breakaway Oracle card deck together. And honestly, it's like things that are coming out. It's interesting. There was a question in the chat for you. Hold on a second, let me just find it. It was about how to know if people have got real memories. Where was it? A pension ship sounds good. Was it from Woo? Question for Mikey. How can you tell if someone isn't being true about being in the SSP?
well, that's the hard thing about it because, I mean, like, Julie and I could say, oh, we're Nachtwaffen. There's no way to prove we're not. But the key to it that I was talking with, like, Tony and other people in the SSP is you got to listen to their story and you got to listen to, if it is like 99% word for word somebody else's story, chances are that person's not actually in the program.
Yeah.
But if they're like 70, 75%, there's enough difference to the story. It's
Mhm.
like, yeah, but you just got to trust your instincts. Like if you get a feeling like this person, you know, says they're this and like you get a feeling they're off. Tony had a great idea and he goes, ask him a detail that goes further.
Mhm.
And if they can answer the further, then chances are this is a real person, real
Yeah.
experience. But if they can't go further, that's
Yeah.
because they're using somebody else's story.
So he was on Typical Skeptic a year or so ago, and he said something, and it really made me think because there was, I don't know if somebody'd asked the question or he'd volunteered about how do you brush your teeth in space. I don't even know if it was my question or somebody's, but how do you brush your teeth in space? And and he had an answer of like, yes,
Yeah.
they had those kind of disposable like toothbrushes or chewing things. I don't know, but he had an answer for it, and then that started to make me think, okay, yeah, like, did you brush your hair? Did you go to a regular toilet? Like, these are the details, right? So what was your routine like? And so that really got me thinking. Then that really helped me to think, okay, if I'm in a memory, I'm going to start to look around a bit more if I can. I'm going to tune into my higher self's version. Your higher self sees everything 360
Yeah.
degrees. When you realize that is recorded in your higher self, that you can tune into that, oh, that changes the memory mining process. So I'll
Yeah.
be
And
I'll get something come up and then I'll say, okay, higher self, give me another view, right? And that's pretty
yeah,
awesome to do that.
there is another way too,
Mm-hmm.
because if you're in the programs, you know how everything works. And so if you ask somebody something, I don't want to kind of say it because then I
Yeah,
don't
but
want
I
people
I
to
won't
start.
know. I won't know how things work because either
No, no,
I
what I'm
am,
meaning
you know
is
what I mean? I've got
I would
very
ask
limited.
like somebody, "Oh, did you go, and interact with, in this situation?"
Mm.
And if they go, "Yes," then I'm like, "You're not SSP."
Yeah.
Because
So my perception is different as well because a lot of the time I was isolated and I was guarded. And Olivia James is the only other person that I've met who experienced also being guarded. Yeah. David Purcell knows that he assigned guards around me and stuff like that. So I was not allowed in general population. And in a not coffin memory that he and I share, he was escorting me to dinner. He was escorting me into the mess hall. So my position didn't allow me to talk to many others, and I was very, very aggressive and uncontrollable at times as well. So I literally have a memory, and David has the same memory of somebody, like a new person came on the ship or whatever, and came across to talk to us, and I literally just ripped out their throat psionically, because as if to say, don't come near me, right? And that person's like staggering away, and we have that shared experience, and I was like, fuck, who am I, like, what's wrong with me? Right? So, but Draco has memories of me being myself, being like just uncontrollable, and he was tasked to
yeah.
control me. Yeah.
Yeah, I sent you something for clarification of what I was
I know where
trying
you're
to
going.
say.
I know where
Yeah,
you're going with that because we've had mentioned it for before, but go ahead. Yeah.
yeah. I didn't want to say it verbally.
Yeah, but it's like I don't have that. Like, I wasn't allowed to associate with certain
Yeah.
classes of people. I wasn't allowed to associate with anybody,
Oh
right?
yeah.
I had a commander
It's
who was only. Do you know what I mean? So it was either you
yeah.
were in my lab, and that was it. I didn't get to be with the infantry or other
And
soldiers or anything like that in that version of me. But go ahead.
I
Sorry.
I have a friend who is in the programs and she was in a different role than I was. And she's like, "Have you ever been at this location?" And I'm like, "Yes, I know of that location, and I don't know if how long I was ever there, but I do know of the location." And she's like, "Did you ever talk to me there? Do you recognize me from there?" And I'm like, "No, and I can't." And it's it's hard because you don't want to be rude or mean, but it's like the conditions we were in, it's like it's kind of hard not to be rude or mean
Yeah,
about it because that's how we operated. And
but
so it's like,
it's like until I get the recall from a version of me, like I've got Major Hildy. Now she might have that same kind of experience where you've had, where she was only interacting with certain levels of command. But from the scientist perspective, I don't have that because I know how isolated I was. And Tiffany was saying in the chat about remote viewing people to see if they're correct or not with their memory. But to be honest, we all remember things differently, I think.
well,
So,
and the
yeah.
problem with remote viewing is you're viewing a target specific, not
Yeah.
a generalization. And so and people like, I'll be honest, I can tell when I'm being remote viewed and I can set up things to block it and or
Mhm.
alter what they see. And so you
Yeah.
can't trust
I had
remote
someone in my
viewing
head
someone.
a few days ago. I was in meditation at the time, and somebody appeared in my mind, and I was like, "Who is that? Is it this? No. Is it that? Yes." And I was like, "Well, you can fuck right off." And then I went into the Discord, and they put 23 messages about me in the Discord group, right? And so I knew that that person had violated my personal space while I was in meditation. And this is why I know that person potentially is an asset because they shouldn't be able to do that, right? And
Well, they
but
shouldn't be doing it, period.
yeah, but when anybody puts enough time, energy, and emotion into something, then they're potentially going to connect to that, whatever that is. So that person had been thinking about me in such a deep emotional way that it actually started to penetrate through while I was in meditation, right? And but luckily I picked up on it and it pushed them out. And then when I thought, what is going on? So I went and checked, and yeah, they put a lot of energy into talking about me basically, and I picked up on it. So that person's not available on my channel anymore, and they can
Yeah.
still see. And oh hey, my friend Kelly's in the chat. Hey Kelly. And so because you've
Um,
got to be really careful, because I don't always have boundaries up in place. If I'm talking with friends and stuff like that, I'm not going to have a boundary in place. And there was somebody who I consider to be a friend in the UK recently, and we were chatting about something, and then they said to me, oh, your energy's this, that, and the other. And I thought, why are you, um why are you scanning my energetic field when I've got my guard down because we're mates, and
yeah.
yeah, sorry, just scanning the chat then. One sec. You need blind coordinates for a remote view. So there's different types of remote viewing. So I tune into my clones all the time. And oh no, I can't say because that's possibly going to be a spoiler for the movie. So I don't know actually. That comment you just put there. So just checking, just checking. Okay. So this question from Nathan Fox, and it says, has either Michael or Julia experienced training in historical European martial arts, medieval and Renaissance age weapons combat? Yes, I
Yes.
have.
I
Uh,
have.
definitely. Yeah, I'm trying to think about that now because I know I definitely have the training when we're using staff, but I definitely have training when I was using sword. I definitely did a lot of sparring, but medieval, and even when it's that kind of like in Kill Bill when she's got that thing, that ball with spikes on it. I've used
A
that.
mace. Yeah.
Yeah, I've used that for sure. But I had a memory come back in a while back, and I was in an arena, but it was like as if I'd gone back in time, and I was like a gladiator training program or something. So I think a few of us have that. I've spoken about it with Christy Campbell. It's like we get put in a it's probably a holodeck, but it's like you're being trained as a gladiator. You're fighting like you're a gladiator, right? So I remember
Oh
having a
yeah.
shield. Yeah, don't know if anyone else remembers that.
Well, you got
But yeah,
lucky if you got a shield. I never got a shield.
it's possible I made a shield, dude. Energetic. I don't know. Um,
But
Rainbow
yeah,
Flame says, I think you're also for using boundaries only when necessary, not living a paranoid life is important. Yeah, well, I mean, I do have a lot of boundaries in place, but I could do with more boundaries probably. So, yeah, I'm targeted all the time. This is my life. I'm not going to live in fear all the time, but I don't expect things to come at me from friends or people in our community. And when they do, I can't promise that I'll be nice about it. Sorry, you know. Um, yeah. Plasma mace in combat, Nathan. Wow. Oh, Thomas Alvin on Super Soldier Talks mentions a friend using a plasma mace in combat. Do you think they called a ball without spikes pepper spray? I don't know. It's funny. Yes, Soma Arar.
I've
Yes,
used plasma weapons.
yeah. So I did a couple of things with Soma Arar, and she's talked about me being in like that kind of Roman arena or something like that. But there is the arena that's off planet. But there's a memory that came in last year when I was showcasing my personal brand of super soldiers who are chimeras, my Zukunftskriegers, my future warriors, and I was in an arena selling them on the black market. So that's a weird arena memory. What good is all this disclosure, says Eric, an awakening to past and skills if you do not put it to good use in the now? If not, it's just blah, 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 blah. Pink Peeps action counts, yeah. Oh, Jerry says, I created the Klingon Batleth. Hansel, Jerry, you badass.
Oh
I
man,
always wanted a Batleth. Oh
I
my
should have
God.
done that. Man, I wish I had done that.
You'd see a Dax in DS9 using the Batleth. Oh,
Yeah,
amazing. Yeah.
that
Yeah.
is a really nice weapon.
Yeah.
I've used arrow skinners. I don't know if you're familiar with those. It's like you're
Mm,
so the design is like
mm.
you put your fist like this, like grabbing the handle, and the blade is right there. And so
Okay.
if you're not careful, you can stab yourself, but
Yeah.
it's like, man, those things are so much fun.
Iron Burst says, Michael, do you remember the blade they used in the Boba Fett series? I believe that's very similar to the crystal blades we used, the black blade.
I do recognize the black blade and the white blade also that's portrayed in, I believe it's Ahsoka that they showed it at one point, but then they switched over to the black blade and focused on that with the Mandalorians. But I do remember a black blade and the fact that, yeah, it was a weapon that if you were not careful with it, it like, it was almost like a sentient blade. Is it worked with you to do what you wanted it to do and could manipulate your body to get the results you wanted, but if you weren't careful, it could corrupt you.
So Missing Time is saying, do they do nunchucks in space? No, I don't remember that, but I actually remember something thinking about it that comes out and comes back in, right? Some kind of weapon that
The
extends out.
scorpion,
Well,
the Mortal Kombat scorpion maneuver,
I
yeah.
have a lot of scorpion energy. I literally have a scorpion, but that's I don't. That's not what I'm thinking of. It's like maybe it is. Hold on, let me check that. Um, I just know it's
But
something that moves.
yeah, I do know of nunchucks in space. They're not as prominently used, but they are possible to be used. They're not as favored because they're harder to keep control of in the anti-gravity. Because you have to remember, even though we're in space, we're not always training in gravity. So weapons, you learn to wield them in zero G versus normal gravity or even higher gravity than Earth. And so I remember doing that where you're like maybe 10 or 20 times Earth's gravity and you got to stand up and fight and defend yourself and move fast, otherwise you get taken out. And Yeah, those days I remember I got regenerated a lot at first because that was hard to move.
Yeah. So the Mr. Rainbow Flame has put a comment in. I'm not sure if I'm reading it right. It says, how do you feel when someone is getting, it says trough boundaries, but is that meant to be tough boundaries? That they should not. I don't feel anything, or am I just not interesting to look into something? Could I be shielded already all the time? Well, I was shielded for a long time. I was until Sean Bond decided to uncloak me as part of our first session together, right? And everything that people had been like invisible to them, suddenly he's like, oh, you're this, that, you're that, you're the other. And then I've been dealing with that ever since. But yeah, some things are just not in my awareness because my guides don't want me to know. It's a bit like the UFO stuff. It got kind of like removed from my
Mm.
awareness for like 20 years. And then I'm just allowed to come back into it now. So maybe it's just not the right time.
Well,
I don't know what you think.
I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm understanding the question right, but if like we're referring to like
Oh,
being
true.
targeted.
I'm trying to say true. Yeah. True boundaries. Okay. Do you want me to reread that question?
Yeah, because I'm
Sorry.
not sure I'm like
Okay.
following.
So, how do you feel when someone is getting true boundaries that they should not, or getting through boundaries? I don't feel anything, or am I just not interested to look
Oh,
into something?
okay.
Could I be shielded already all the time?
Okay, so my first answer would be yes, be shielded all the time, no matter what. That's what I do. And my shielding actually consists of I've had three people confirm parts of my shielding that blocked them from getting into my energy field and reading anything about me. But you should always have shields up so that people can't just walk over you and just read you at will. Because we live in a world where our energy and our knowledge is currency. So if you don't shield yourself, you're giving it away for free and you're going to get so manipulated and so targeted. It's like unbelievable. But when they can go through the boundaries, I've had that happen. It literally will make you rethink everything about yourself because we get to a point to where, and I'm speaking about myself, I can't speak about Julie on this one, is I feel myself invisible because I know I can do this, this, and this and keep myself safe. And then when somebody goes through the boundary, it's like I question, how good am I at any of this? What do I really know? And it like really rips you to the core of, how did this happen? I thought I was doing this. I thought I was, this and that. And so it can really mess with you mentally. And so you just have to watch your language and watch yourself so that if it does, you have someone get through, you simply learn how they did it, adapt your shielding so they can't do it again, and you just learn to become more adaptive and you just learn, you're not as invisible as we think. And I don't remember where I was, but somebody was saying they put in a comment somewhere that goes, yeah, I can't wait to be awakened so I can do whatever I want because nobody can touch me. I was like, it doesn't actually work that way. Is even if we are like, 5D density being energy wise, dealing with 3D energy, that 3D energy can still suck you down from 5D to 3D and they can get you if you let your guard down. So there is no real ever level of we are completely free and clear, and we don't have to worry about anybody doing anything. It is always a contingent, and that is the one thing that's even worse is because spiritual level, that's one thing. But now you have the SSP level. So it's like you got a double hit. And so it's like, oh man, and if one weakens, the other will trounce on it. And so it's like you got to be even more vigilant and watchful of your energy and your shielding when you're SSP because they look for every loophole and they're constantly scanning for a weak spot.
That's so cool. So we've got this little side chat going on about flirting in the SSP, and I literally said if somebody bought me a dagger, yes, that probably would be considered flirting, right? If someone got me a batleth, oh my god, I'd be like so happy right now. If you think about it, if you're in the future and it's like zombie apocalypse, and somebody brings you a tool of some kind, dang, that would be so good, right? It's like when I was in Australia and we had hardly any money and I was working in a random job, no money. It's my birthday. Somebody brought me this Cadbury snowflake. This chocolate flake, like, all flaky chocolate, milk chocolate surrounded by white chocolate. It was so good. So I think if you're in space and you wanted to flirt with somebody, you wouldn't buy them flowers and chocolate. You get them a nice weapon or something. Oh, yeah, that'd be awesome. Is that just me? If you came to me with
No.
a Merlin dagger, I'd be very happy, or an air rifle or something right now. I'd be super stoked. I would.
So,
Or a crystal.
act,
Crystals are good too. Yeah.
so funny thing is, and since you talked about like The Walking Dead, the one thing I always notice that is the single most obvious flaw that is in every show, and I don't understand how people don't figure this out, is everybody races to get the guns. And I'm like, the guns are useless when you run out of ammo. And so, and how are you going to get ammo? Because the people that make the ammo are probably the zombies now. And so, you don't have an unlimited supply of ammo. However, if you get an axe, a sword, or a spear, you
Nice
have
axe. Oh wow.
unlimited.
Yeah.
As long as you don't throw it at somebody, and when which case, yeah, don't use throwing axes because that's a one and done. You kind of need to keep
Yeah.
the axe.
Yeah. I don't know, just a nice dagger would be fine, thank you. I'm looking for a
Actually,
particular dagger that I saw in a meditation, and it had a flame blade, and it was a gift from Merlin. So I'm
oh
still
yeah,
looking for that. You can get them, but I'm
oh
waiting for
yeah,
it to show up, for it to appear in a shop or something, and I'll be like, "Yep, getting that." Yep.
I've seen those.
It's not that easy here in the UK to have weapons like it is in America. Even knives are really like you get kids walking around
Yeah,
with machetes down their pants and stuff, and it's like a terrible problem out here. Kids wearing
oh yeah.
balaclavas with big blades and stuff. Um, yeah,
Well, Eric is saying, yeah, I have to sharpen the blades, but so here's the thing: you get a rock and water, you can sharpen the blade.
mm,
That's all it really needs. It doesn't need a
yeah,
special anything.
mm,
And so, and you don't have to have. So, here's another thing
mm,
I learned from programs: blades don't have to be sharp. It does not take as much as you think to
mm.
push metal into skin. So, if your
You're gonna
blade
get a
goes
warning on YouTube,
dull,
maybe.
you're still going to be able to save yourself and keep it yourself good to go. The only thing you got to
Yeah,
worry about is like if you hit something because you went too far through them and you break it, then yeah, you're in trouble because now you can't repair a broken blade.
Yeah, so I do love knives. A lot of people in the SSP have a fascination with knives and weapons and are generally pretty good shot and
Well,
whatever. It's just
I
a
have
natural,
daggers and swords.
yeah. Dr. Ramirez got a crossbow.
I
He was
want a
thinking
crossbow.
about it. Yeah, I'd like to get a crossbow as well. He's a Wizardbreaker says he's got memories of using plasma sword, sometimes having two, and wielding one in each hand, one longer and one shorter. Yeah,
And
that's
you
so
can
cool.
also connect the hilts to make it one blade double-ended.
Yeah.
That is cool to do.
I love how Phil Barrow, the wizard Phil Barrow, talks about when he's in the astral and he just pulls a sword out of his heart chakra. I love that. So when I'm in the astral, I'm like always thinking, "Where's my sword?" Mine's generally on my back, like they're on my back. But it's like, so when I take people into Akashic Records journeys, I always, if I can, at some point, at least once a month, take them into an armory so you can look around at all the things that you've accrued in your lifetimes. I love it, absolutely love it, because it's very empowering. Like, take what you need right now, a nice
Act-
staff or a sword, or yeah, hell
I'm
yeah.
actually surprised. I would have pictured you for the wrist blade.
Oh, wrist blade, interesting. Hmm.
It's
I
what
am
it
very,
is you like you put your hand out like this with
yeah,
force and the
yeah.
blade just comes out and then you just grab the
Yeah,
hilt.
so I am very much death by a thousand cuts, which is why when in John Whitberg's last book you hear how Yoshiro Surabaya dies, and it just buckled me because that's literally a version of me's brother. That character in the book is still Draco, and when I heard how I knew he'd passed away, but I hadn't really grieved that until that moment, and when I realized how he died is how my alters actually like to torture people. It's death by a thousand cuts. So, and that really upset me then because I thought, my God, I've literally just been like avenging my brother in every alter version of me. That's insane. Um,
Yeah.
Daddy says last year,
Lightsabers don't need batteries.
yeah,
That
yeah.
they
Daddy's
run
saying
on
about buying a scythe. How do you say that? A scythe, like the
a
Grim Reaper.
scythe. Yeah.
Yeah, she had trouble with her lawnmower, so she's actually looking for one of those to cut her grass. She must have a really big thingy. Okay, let's pull some cards. I don't want to go too long because I do have another show coming up in 90
Yeah.
minutes. So with Jerry and Leo, and so it's already after midnight here in the United Kingdom. So if anybody would like a card, Mike and I are just going to see. I'm wearing with the stars, working with Starseed Oracle. If anybody would like some random guidance that could potentially make no sense whatsoever, you've got shamanic healing cards. What they call shamanic wisdom.
Mystical Shaman Oracle. It is by
Yeah.
Alberto Villalodo, Colette Baron Reed, and Marcel
Ah,
Lobos.
Colette Byron Reed. She's good. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
got a lot of hers.
Okay. Nathan is the first one. Nathan Fox. So this is just random. What does he need to know today?
Just one card?
Yeah, let's try one card each and see how that goes. I've got a new earth. It's happening. Keep holding the vision, Nathan. This is the card I got for you. New earth. It's happening. Keep holding the vision. Yours are very pale. Oh, there we go. It's a bit better. What
The
does it
Witness.
witness? Mine's about vision. Yours is about witnessing.
It's got a sun on the top, and I would say it's about just being the observer.
Yeah.
Actually, it kind of makes sense when you think about it, because a witness is observing to see what's going on from all angles before taking actions. And you're not emotionally involved. You're in a complete, calm, balanced state to determine what is going on around you. Where do you need to put your energy in to achieve what you want to achieve? It gives you clarity.
Okay, the witness, that's good. So mine was also about vision. So it's about his sacred site. That's so cool. Okay, so the next one we have got is the Wizard Witkiss. I'm just gonna Wizard Witkiss. Ah, I've got the Seven Star Sisters, Birthing Creations, Tapestry of Life, and Expression. So, Tapestry of Life, connecting the dots, expressing it, connecting into Palladian healing energies. What did you get?
The Rainmaker, which that is actually about watching your emotions and being in touch with your inner strength and knowing you have the ability to call on the elements. You have the ability to create like water out of thin air. You can pull the water molecules out of the air to make water. So you have the insight and the wisdom of what is in your environment all around you at all times. And so you have the sight of knowing if you are like in a desert and you need water, you can just simply breathe in and feel the water just filling your system. You don't actually need water. You can pull it out of the elements. Oh, this is pretty cool.
Great. Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you. So the next one we've got is Mr. Rainbow Flame, and this is Arno, who's in Belgium. And he's asked for random protection guidance card, please. And I did. I got Archangel Michael, but I also got balance coming in. So Archangel Michael's bringing in that protective shield around you. It's going to give you the time and space you need to balance your energies. From the star seed, I got weight. Yeah, so you Archangel Michael's coming in, shielding you, time to balance, wait before you move forward.
Oh,
Things are being woven.
what's happening to the card? Oh, it's the color. There's some green in the card, so it's mapping the
Hold
background.
it up to where your face is. Okay.
No, it's because the color green is in the card. My green screen is kicking in, and so it's mapping over the card, my background. So mine was many paths. And so what that's showing is, your protection, you're asking about protection. You have to be clear to which protection you're looking for. Are you looking for protection at home? Are you looking for protection in your car? Are you looking for protection at work? Are you looking for protection with friends, in relationships, in, meeting people or in meetings or, so when it's kind of like a reminder when you're asking for, something, the universe will give you exactly what you ask for. So if you just say, "Hey, I want protection," it's going to give you a protection. May not be the protection you're thinking that you want or that you need. So just remember, that there's many paths out there. So keep in mind, which path you want to be on and ask for that path to be the one that's protected.
That's brilliant. The next one we've got is Heather, and she's saying random guidance could be fun. So I've picked one. I'm just going to pick a healing card that goes with that. 1 second. Okay, so the card I've got, it says cracked open, rock bottom, surrender to the alchemy of life. This is the card. So this is from the Starseed Oracle. So there's the card. But then I've also picked a healing card from the Violet Flame, and this is Unite. So coming together, and we're literally coming together in a week's time. We're going to be meeting up at the Basis Conference. So that's so good. So you kind of,
Hey, there we
it's kind
go.
of starting fresh. Yeah, go on.
I gotta hold it at an angle so it doesn't map it. It's called the serpent. And let's see, what is a serpent? So serpents, okay, so normal nomenclature would tell you, oh, those are the deceivers, the tricksters, and they're the bad element. But in reality, serpents are protectors. will keep you safe and watch over you, and they are able to get into anywhere. It's like they can access any place. And so if you call upon this energy, you can find yourself in locations that you have thought before were unreachable because now you have the ability to bypass the locks. Because remember, snakes don't really have a true skeletal system, so they can make themselves fit through any crevice. So just remember, as you're looking into life, if you're trying to achieve something and you feel it's out of reach or you can't get through this area, look for a crack. Find your way through with the crack and just, be careful that you don't enter a space though and get stuck there. Like an example is, I've seen houses where snakes have crawled into a wall and they got stuck in the wall because there was no way out and they got too big eating what they could in there, so they can't go out the way they came in. So it's easy to get trapped too, being a serpent. So just be mindful of your environment and make sure when you enter, you have a contingency plan of getting out and getting through. You can get through to the other side.
That's so good. Thank you. So the next one is from, let me find if I've got it here, Shelley, who says, I would love a card. How am I connected to Andorra crystals? Thank you. So I love Andorra crystals. And for me, Andorra crystals are Lemurian, but for you, it was your connection started with them when you were in Sirius. And I was asking, I was checking in, and it's Sirius B. And it's like you've got a connection to the Oriflame, and this is connecting via Sirius B. I'm not too sure how because I don't really go into that kind of thing. But you've worked with the Andorra crystals before off planet, and then when you came over here, you connected with them again on planet when you were Lemurian. So you're very old. I did check on Atlantean, but it's more Lemurian for you. Yes. What did you get?
Mystical shaman. And so that would mean you can tap into not only the energies of the earth, but you can, read the energies of the air, the space above, the energy of everything around you, and even the energy beyond the earth. And so the mystical shaman really is the shaman who is in touch with the galactic, the cosmic, the metaphysical, the earthly, source, all the energies out there. It can tap into and utilize them in a wise, smart way, not for personal gain. It's you've learned how to tap them to benefit. Like an example would be is if you're the shaman of the tribe, you've learned to benefit the tribe over yourself. That's how you reach the mystical shaman side. You don't have that personal, I'm going to get this power for me attitude. You have the attitude of the power is for the environment around me. And you think of yourself last, actually, but still benefit yourself because you're benefiting from the land. So you're not excluding yourself. You just aren't driven by the power. You're driven by the gain you get from the environment around you. What'd you get?
Oh, I just did the talking about the Andorra crystals and connection
Oh,
to Sirius. Just shout out to Valkyrie in the chat. Valkyrie, did you want a card? Did you want the last card? So while we wait for Valkyrie to say, Danny wants to know what's going on in Texas. That's like paranormal UFO that she can get involved into because she's not in any groups right now. What can you recommend?
well, considering the size of Texas, Danny, to really help you, I would have to know what area of Texas are you referring to because,
I think
like,
she
I'm
might
in
be
the
southeast. I'm not too sure. We'll see.
yeah, because I'm in North Central and I have friends that are in the Central and South. I don't have many friends in the West, but some in the East and I have a couple kind of in the Northwest, not quite in the Panhandle area. So, um,
Yeah, she's in the southeast.
okay, so Southeast, I would say your hotspots will be Nacogdoches, Houston. Let me, I'm trying to think. Tyler, there are Palestine, Athens, there are areas over there. Now, if you are looking to go on investigations, in all honesty, it's better to go with people that you know and trust. And so, depending how far southeast you are, I occasionally, like, I'm getting ready to go and I'm trying to get a team to go over to Tyler and check out a historic POW camp from the Civil War. And
But
so,
yeah, she's put Beaumont, Houston, Tyler.
so yeah, so if you're in the Tyler area, I would say hit me up on Messenger on Facebook and I can let you know when I'm going to be in the area and we can go investigate, scout some places out. But like Goliad, Yorktown, there's Gonzales, there's Cost. Yes, there actually is a city in Texas called Cost. And yeah, there's a lot of few like San Antonio would be close to you in that area. So there's a lot of possibilities. It's just a matter of finding people in that area. And I do know a few people scattered around that I could probably put you in touch with, but yeah, just you'd have to really message me
Okay.
to figure out what works best in what area.
Yeah, that sounds great. So the last card of the day is going to be for Brinja, and she is the Valkyrie. And I pulled a couple of cards already for Valkyrie. One second. Oh, there's a Texas in Australia as well. She's Valkyrie saying. Valkyrie, so you're not aware of her situation, but I am. So there's an emotional situation that's going on. So I've got water element coming in for you. The root chakra still needs a bit of work, Valkyrie. So that's coming out for you. And that's impacting your expression with your throat. So focus on grounding, okay? Because you're actually having a full body purification right now. So you may actually find, even though it's a very stressful situation that you are in, you may find that you're starting to feel a bit tired, fluey, something's coming in, your body's having a reset, so you need definitely to rest to get your emotions back into balance and get yourself super grounded until you sort out your move, which hopefully will be soon. So sending you lots of love and blessings, Valkyrie. So Mike, what have you got for Valkyrie?
Oh, I'm kind of laughing because the first card I got was the Witness again, and it was right. So I pulled another one because we've already kind of talked about that. And as you said, water, I got the card Wind. And so then I was like, well, I'm feeling generous. Let's, pull one more. Because you were like, I thought you were doing three and you did four. So I was like, I only did three. The Wild Woman. And so
We
it's
are
like,
talking about a Valkyrie here. She's like a daughter of Loki energy, so that's pretty cool. But I also got a
yeah.
throat chakra, which is wind energy, so that makes sense to me. So there's
Oh,
yes, that balance between the
the
air
fourth
elemental
card,
and the water. What have you got?
Vision Quest, was the fourth
Vision
card.
quest. Yeah. Okay, so taking time
So,
to rest, reset, go into meditation to balance the emotions. That sounds good.
yeah, so you and I actually, I would say especially on the last one, we actually were in congruence.
Yeah, I'm pretty much in sync when I do partnered readings with people. I always balance out the energies, which is fine. And that's so cool. Michael, this has been so good. Thank you so much. Everybody's enjoyed it in the chat. And we'd love to get you back on a regular basis as always. I need to charge my hearing aids now, so it's like I'm gonna have to go charge my ears for my next show, which is coming up. I don't have a huge amount of shows on at the moment because I'm working on projects. So I just, when there's somebody you've been trying to schedule for a long time, and then they give you a time slot, and you're like, oh, I wish it wasn't 2 a.m. in the morning for me. But it is. But you can't say no because you've been like trying to book them for like 2 months or something.
Oh
And
yeah,
yeah. Who have you
I've
got
had.
coming up? Have you got any cool guests? Because you've got amazing guests on your channel.
So I had David Hunt this afternoon, who was UK ET abductee, most documented, one of the most documented cases. So we talked about it a little bit and got into a little bit about it. And then tonight I have Amy Starseed on, and we're going to be talking about sacred feminine energies and bringing that in, talking about balancing different modalities and all kinds of fun stuff. And then tomorrow, I have two interviews where I'll be talking with Tilly Tidwell about a really cool paranormal experience at 2 o'clock. And that happened between me and her husband, Artemis, while finishing a live show. So we're gonna discuss that a little bit, and then at an hour after Tilly, I get to go on Willie Morgan's show where I kind of had to go because she was doing a different show, and I kind of teased her that we never did the Tom Cruise movies show. So that's what we're doing tomorrow night. Well, her time.
That should be fun. That should be good.
Oh yeah.
So Danny's mentioning the Alex Collier, Tony Rodriguez, and Brad Olson show that you did, which was fantastic. It was a magnificent
Yes.
show. Yeah. Yeah, definitely
And
want to watch. Mm.
I'm looking at getting them together, and I might even try and get other like another person to join in, and you know not that I'm saying Brad and Alex and Tony need somebody to
Mm.
balance them out, but I always think it's kind of fun because that show, a lot of people don't know this, but that was the first time Alex and Tony were on podcasts together.
Oh, wow.
So now it's like I'm kind of looking at like who else can it's like my gears are turning and I'm
Mm.
like who else can I put on show together that's never been on show with these guys that they know that they on stage they do conferences together, but podcast shows no. And so I'm
Mm.
kind of trying to fit in my head who can I invite on with them and bring in that energy and information that way that they all are like friends, and so it's like, yeah, we all get to have a friendly like fireside chat where we
Yeah.
all get to just chat about subject and
Yeah, that's so awesome. I mean,
yeah,
the idea of doing the panels and things it's always been a bit nerve-wracking for me because I like hosting, but I'm not very good at being a guest. But the SSP panel discussion show that we did has been picked up by basistv.com. So it's now on the Basis Project YouTube as well, so that's really good. So then future episodes are going to go into my bases. I think I'm basis 173, so I've got my own basis segment now. So it'd be great to get some. Hopefully, a monthly show is what we're planning. So that's going to be great for
yeah,
people who
and
are like just breaking into. So anybody who's not been on kind of disclosing their SSP for at least 2 years is considered a newcomer in the SSP community. And they're the people we're looking primarily to get in and give them a bit of a boost, confidence, connections. Yeah.
I was just gonna add for people that are watching and where they see the same people all the time on panels. We're looking at rotating and bringing in different
Yeah.
people each month. So definitely want to tune in because you may not see the same faces each time. So
Yeah.
even if you do, we go in different paths and different experiences. So no show is
Mm.
the same, but we are trying to mix it up and we're trying to find people who want to share their story, but they're unsure about sharing their
Mm.
stories. So if that is you and you're watching this, reach out to Julia and because she's the main person behind putting it together. I'm kind of like the what would you call it? I'm the co-host that's along for the ride that just kind of helps keep
Well,
everything,
I'm hoping to get at least one kind of mentor, established SSP person each time if
yeah,
we can. So John Whitberg has agreed to come on, so at some point, and that'll be great. And hopefully we'll get other people who'll be able to come in and out as like a mentor kind of figure. And while we're kind of trying to corral in all the newer people who don't really have their channels up and running, who are still, don't have enough maybe recall to do a full show by themselves, because I know that idea daunted me until I realized, oh, hang on, maybe I do have more than I realized, and then
yeah,
connecting with my dad as well in December, more memories came flooding back in as our energies reconnected. So I've had periods of memory cascade, and I know not everybody has that, because I committed to daily meditation for a long time. So I've been actively doing it as my job, basically, for the last year or so. And I've definitely been getting more and more coming through. I mean, even watching that Disclosure Day movie today, it wasn't SSP related, but it was an abduction memory that came in really clear watching that movie. So I was like,
right.
whoa, what's going on here? And yeah, so
Yeah,
I mean,
and
making the card deck as well. I've had memories coming off making that card deck in the last couple of months. So yeah.
yeah, and the cool thing too about, we had Christy, as our first mentor.
Yeah.
Nobody knew Christy was going to be the mentor
Yeah, I was
until we were
surprised.
pretty much starting. And so
So they didn't
it's not
feel
like you
worried
can
or
message us
overwhelmed.
and
Yeah.
say, "Oh, I want to be on when this person's
Yeah.
mentoring." It doesn't work that way. We'd established the mentor
Mm.
pretty much well, Julia
Yeah, on
establishes
the
it
day
before,
of.
but we don't know until we start, so
Yeah, so
it's
it's not
luck of the
like you can,
draw.
because there might be people that think, oh, I'm really worried about coming on in case this person's on or that person's on or whatever. But we try and just coordinate the energies. The right energies will be there at the right time. Basically, that's how I work. The right people
Yeah.
will be reached at the right time, and yeah. So it's great that Basis TV has picked up the segment now as well, because then we're reaching a much wider audience, and that adds into everybody's credibility, yeah, and puts you forward. So it's really kind of launching the people people who are newer, like myself. So I'm still quite new into the SSP narrative, and trying to kind of break in a way. So there's still people that I don't talk to or who don't want to talk to me because I've not been out for 2 years and stuff like that. It's like you're trying to come out the closet in a way. So it's
Yeah.
weird. So yeah,
And two, the thing is, we've noticed from our own experiences where people will say to us, "Well, what do you remember?" "Well, I don't remember much." And they'll
yeah,
pretty much walk away. Well, we, got together and we're talking and we were like, that's not really fair to the people who don't
yeah,
have full memories. So that's where we decided, let's do this panel to where if you've experienced that, reach out to us. We want to hear your story. We want to hear
yeah,
your experience. And you never know, we may end up with two people on the panel that have the same experience or
yeah.
similar experience. And so
Mm,
that's really cool. You can get validation that way. Or,
yeah. There's a lot of
but
validation out there, isn't it? It's like we've all got similar experiences. And one of the things that Miles at Bases asked me on a recent interview is, well, how are you connected in with all the Americans? Right? And you'd think, well, why would I be? I'm in the UK. Why would I be connected in with the Americans? But we were taken from all over the globe into a global program. We're all basically put through the same basic training, the same mind fracturing process. We're all thrown together as kids, basically, and brought back together over and over in different
yeah.
projects on and off planet. Yeah, so literally, I was taken from where I am here over to Canada, over to America, over to South Africa, Australia, India, everywhere. So we all know each other, right? Which is so
So
weird. But I even
a way
traced
to
that
look
back
at it
to the
is,
KGB, starting in
yeah.
Liverpool and then going to America. Right, I traced that back recently, made a connection on a video. So it's insane how like my location is actually a prominent location because that bothered me for a while. Why would this apply to me? But this was one of the main locations before MK Ultra came over to America. It came here, and that blew my brain when I realized
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, and another thing too that can be done to showcase why UK, US, or Canada, or, Germany, for example, why we would work together, on the panels is I would laughingly say, well, look at Stargate Atlantis.
mm,
That's a crew working off-world, and they all have their patches of their countries on their sleeves,
yeah,
and they all work together. It's not
mm.
one country going, we're controlling everything, and you guys have to do what we say. No, they're all working equal.
Yeah,
And so that's what we're trying to create is reconnecting people around the world to say, yes, even though you've had this experience and nobody around you where you are has this, here are people who do that you can now talk with and build a community.
mm. Yeah. It's just so family. I mean, I never expected to be enrolled in Russian programs and all this kind of stuff. And somebody had said in a podcast a while ago, you never hear about Russian SSP. Where are all the Russian assets? We are the Russian assets, right?
Yeah.
We literally are. It's freaking crazy. Yeah, so there's different versions of us that speak different languages, that grew up in different places, but it's still all us. It's all our
Yeah.
soul. So
What
it's insane. Yeah.
yeah, and what's funny is like I have only really ever lived in America, but I can speak a little bit of Spanish because I took it in college, but in high school, but I also can speak a little French. I can speak a little Latin. I can speak a
Mhm.
little, here and there, a few different languages. I can speak, a few words here and there just by looking at it. And so, how else could I know that language unless I've
Yeah.
been exposed to it? And I can guarantee you, a lot of languages are not fluently available here in the US like they are in Europe. So
Yeah.
that alone is like pretty much evidence of, yeah. I mean, I
Yeah.
can say like sprechen die Deutsch or
Yeah.
parlez-vous français?
So
Se
another
habla
great
español.
example is I am Asian American, living in England in an English body with an English family, but I remember being Asian and I remember being American, right? My preferences are American TV. My food preferences are Asian food, right? I'm literally like a little Asian woman. I am, right? Whereas, like, you talk to John Whitberg, he's an American who's so British. He says things that, like, my mum would have spoken. It's just
Oh
insane. The
yeah.
language that he uses is from the 1950s. And you're like, how does he speak like that? How does he know those references, right? And it just doesn't make any sense. So we've lived all these lifetimes, and some of them was very long periods of time displaced, yeah? So I lived
Yeah.
in Japan for a long time. I've lived in Japanese off-world colonies for a long time. I'm a little Japanese lady, right? I really am. And but also there's part of me that grew up in America with my dad or in Canada with my dad. So there's like that is who I am. But I'm here in this English body in Great Britain, and this isn't really who I am at all. I really
Yeah.
struggled to fit in. I did fit in India, but of course there's an Indian version of me, right? So it's like so bizarre, like how we're not really in the right place. We're displaced in time and place. We're not in
Yeah.
the right body, right? I definitely
Like,
am not in the right body. Yeah,
yeah, it's like, oh, bloody hell.
that was funny. Okay. Right,
Yeah,
this has been
see,
so good. Yeah, so guys, please do check out our channels. Please do check out the SSP stuff if you're getting into that. Even if you only have a couple of memories and you would like to come forward, let's have a chat. Let's see what else is possible for you.
or
Um,
even better yet, if you are thinking that you're in it, watch the panels, participate in
yes,
the chat
yeah,
rooms, and see how it resonates with
yeah.
you, and decide then if you want to come on.
Yeah. And you can always just be a guest on Mike's show or be a guest on my show. Anybody that I work with, especially if you're newly coming out, I create a media pack for you. So I will help you with all that kind of stuff. I am a publicist, so I can help you with your bio, with your images, and and generally setting up social medias if you need to or whatever. Do reach out to me because that's just a service that I provide for free to help anybody who helps me by coming on my channel. I
Oh,
do
so
have
I
over
can send my people to you.
yeah, yeah, it's fine. As long as they come on my channel as well. Yeah, but no, I'm happy to support people with that because I've been through it all over the years. Like I used to do promotions for actors and all this kind of stuff. So yeah, so that kind of stuff's fine. And Belgian language is messed up. The only language we don't have in the country is English, and we all speak it. That's really weird. Yeah, so I'm really interested to find people from all over the world to get their SSP experiences, especially people from South Africa, because I do have memories of being in South Africa working for Kruger. So I would love to. There's somebody in particular I have in mind, but I don't think she's ready to come out yet. But when she is, I can't wait to get her on my channel. There's also people from other covert projects who are kind of like on the run in a way. I can't wait to get them on my channel. But of course, there's high levels of targeting. So we do have to be really
Yeah.
careful about who we reach out to, who we have on at times, and things like that. Anyway, this has been so good. So I better go because I've got to charge my hearing aids for the next show. Well, thank you so much. So thanks, guys, for
Yes.
watching. And I'll see you all in about an hour for my next show. And please go check out the energy that surrounds us and riding into the unknown, is it? With
Through
Michael
the
Kopf.
unknown.
Through the unknown with Michael Kopf. That's so cool. Okay, I'm going to end the live stream now.